treasures of the spiritual or seven treasures of the Dharma. First is devotions or the faith, F-A-I-T-H. Second is moralities. And the third is generosity or sharing. And the fourth is the learning or starting. And the fifth is self-respect. And the next one is respect to the others. And seventh is wisdom. Those are known as seven treasures or seven luxuries of the Dharma or the virtues. And for that reason, Great Master Nagarjuna, in his letter to friends, he said, these seven he listed, and he told, this is the supreme luxuries qualities that was taught by the great teacher. Great teacher taught. That means Buddha taught. These are the seven treasures. So for that reason, you keep these seven treasures. This is seven treasures. If we have these seven treasures, our spiritual Dharma practice is really going to go well, so well. I guarantee to you. Money back. There is no hustle, no puzzle. Moment you call, day and night, guaranteed back. I'm just joking. But this is seven treasures. The first is devotion of faith. In Tibet it's called Deva. Deva is devotion. Devotion is faith is so important. At the beginning time, in the middle, and end. That means that at the beginning of practitioners, we need devotions of faith. We need faith while you practice. If for that means I'm talking, if you practice for now 1 year or 2 years, we continually need faith. We continually need it. And faith we need to fulfillment. Without the faith, we won't fulfill. Even though we practice for a year or 2 years, without our faith, without kind of lack of the fairness, then we retire from Dharma. Many times that happens. Those older, when you become the practicing for a while, when you're young time or when they're not retired practicing, when they retire from the outside or the professional job externally retired, and at the same time they retire from the spiritual their activities. Really that, because the devotion of faith is so shallow, so weak. In order to, if that happened, according to Buddhism, Buddha's teaching, that is obstacle. Obstacle is really blocking our path, prevent our path. Immediately that. So trying to keep up these treasures. Along with that, you all know, we heard so many, these four renunciation thoughts. Precious life, precious is impermanent, cause and effect are inevitable, and the samsara has challenge and difficulty. Reflecting those as much as we can, our mind to these 4 points is really so powerful. If we have the truly understand of the meaning of the precious lives of ourselves, we won't spoil our life, waste our lives. We see how precious it is. Then second is impermanent. Even though we have the precious lives, precious this beautiful this thing, but it's not going to last forever. Therefore, take the moment, take the time right now. Now is the time. It's not something next time is not the time. Now is the time. Now this time is our capability, our range. We have every capability to do what we like to do now. Future is not exactly sure, but now is really the most important time. Therefore, see the precious time and practice. And together with that, cause and effect are inevitable. All cause and result are inevitable. Is that externally true? When you have the good cause or perfect cause and perfect condition, we don't have doubt of not develop the result or fruit. The same thing, spiritual. Dharma, same thing. If we have perfect cause and condition, it really brings the result. Also in the teaching said, those great masters, if we have perfect knowledge of this cause and condition inevitable, ourselves, each of ourselves become more mindfulness, more thoughtful to our actions and ourselves. So we become more. So that means we become ourselves as teacher to ourselves, supporter. We become the support to ourselves. That's what the gracious teacher Buddha said also in the teaching. I show you the path where to go. But now is your time. You have to apply. The realization is, he said, I have roughly translated, realization is in your hand. It's not that Buddha will take us by hand through Guru Padmasambhava. We have to apply. Realization is in our hand. And then, next one is samsara has troubles. Samsara has challenges. This is what they call the samsara according to Buddhism. There is always challenge. No matter what we are, what situation where we are, even in the human realms, in the animal realm, hell realm, the other realms, so many troubles. God's realm too, there is so much troubles at the end of their lives, according to the teaching. But the human realm is a mixed, so many things going on. We know that. For that reason, we have to have courage, commitment, confidence, and reverse the situation. Not reverse the situation from externally. Because the gracious teacher Buddha said, it's all our mind. If we start changing reverse from the mind, it will reverse. Change. So those are, for example, these devotions, faith are related. For those reasons, in every practice teaching that we know, we all heard some, and always reflecting the 4 points. Many times we can't think all those are very common, all those are basic things. But basic things is so important. That's what we're standing. It's so practical. Really, if we ignore the basic things, then we won't get the advanced things. So therefore, start from this number 1, at the beginning, from the A, and then all the letters will follow until the Z. See, so that's how is really that. And the next one is then this moralities. Morality is the ground foundation of all the spiritual growth. It's so important. According to Buddhism, conduct is so important. Conduct is important. That's why reason Buddha Shakshamana going to give the first his teachings. It started with the Vinaya teachings, morality teachings. And then of course morality can be many. It's a principle of morality teaching is avoiding all the negativities. Morality that will avoid all the negative activities by verbally and physically and also mentally trying to as much as you can, as much as we can. Really trying to avoid that. Even moment mentally is developing, even though it's not activated externally, but also moment is happening, and we recognize by our mindfulness, our awareness, or can detect that, and immediately let it go. Let it go. And that's how that. Morality is, again, according to teaching in Buddhism, is the ground of the Dharma, spiritual ground. With all the good moralities, spiritual practices will become wobbly. And therefore, with our courage and the commitment, with the aspiration, trying to keep the morality as much as keep. And it's simple to tell, avoiding all the negative activities, directly, indirectly, that hurt to the others, or as well as ourselves. And performing the positive, beneficial activities as much as we can, that help to the others and as well as ourselves. Those are all the moralities. And then next one is then generosity, the sharing. That means sharing things, whatever you have. And that is, in the Buddhism, in the Mahayana teaching, said, the sharing the material objects, and sharing the knowledges, and sharing with your capabilities or your skills. And with the, again, bodhicitta, sharing that with the bodhicitta, according your capabilities, according readiness of that. So share, give to the others. Your heart is open, and as much as you can do, according that. And that is generosity, wealth of generosity. What is this? It's opening our grasping and clinging, kind of like loosening up the grasping, clinging, and then also it is great meritorious activities. The next one is, and the startings. And the starting is, according to Buddhism, is really important. Even though generally there is, like according to Nyingma teaching or the practical lineage, always there is yoga, kind of easy approach to the meditation practice. Those are all those big instructions. And it suggests this time this is true with instructions. There is not so many philosophical discussion, but you have to know what you're going to practice. And you have to know what are also the obstacles, hindrances when you have your practices. So it's not carried by the kind of like force sign. F-A-L-S-E, I believe, force signs and indication carried with that. Then kind of really looked at it, thinking, oh, this is a great sign of my practice, this and that thing. But reality is really undermined. Those are in the Buddha teaching, in Panchaparamita teaching, and others say there's so many obstacles that can come during the practices, and there's so many kind of emotional levels and visual levels, dream levels, this and that thing. But it is diluting our practices and weakening our practices, and then ended up there. So therefore, no starting and contemplate is so important. That's the one will become more stronger and solid. So therefore, starting the teaching, starting the practice, starting what you are practicing, also a little bit more know of that. So then you have more confidence. It's not just practice, it's not just only the head or the belief, but it is also something knowledge, awareness, together combined. That is really very special practices that. And so to be due to that. And the next one, and to be and respect to the one's own self. And also now we respect in Buddhism, in the Buddha teaching, respect to one's own self, respect to the others. And one's own self we have to respect. And those according to Vajrayana teaching said, this, for example, our body is mandala of the deities. It's mandala. And that we know. 5 aggregates are 5 male Buddhas. 5 elements are 5 female Buddhas. Where they are, all limbs and all these are the bodhisattva, male and females. Where they are, it's our body. And then in at the end, there's many times more teaching in this clearly. The heart center is the mandala of all the peace of Buddha. And then brain is the mandala of all the wrath of Buddha. Those are really actually true according to teaching. So this our body is a divine mandala, or is a temple, sacred temple. Therefore, we have to respect in that way, physically. And then also our mental level, we have to respect to ourselves. We have to respect, for example, Bodhicitta vows we talk. We talk refuges. Bodhicitta vows. We talk those with knowledge, with clearly knowing what we're doing. And therefore, keeping up the refuge vows is self-respect. Keeping up the Bodhicitta vows is self-respect. Bodhicitta also said, we're going to follow you, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, you following that. Exactly, we're going to try to follow what you did. Paramatas, we're going to follow for the sake of sentient beings. Sentient beings, we're going to do that. Again, if we don't follow exactly, then we are kind of almost like what we say, what we're doing is not making it. It's disrespectful to our goals, our wishes. And all those levels we have to respect. And then in the Mahayana teaching, this body is so important to cross the river of the samsara. And what the great master Shantideva said, with relying of the body of this body, I will cross the river of the I will cross the river of the challenges. And this boat of the body is not always available. Therefore, I should not waste this body. That's what Great Master Shantideva said. So this is so important. And then self-respect is also self-respect. Our generally kind of like family members and all others, thinking about everyone that I don't want disappointed. I don't want to like to do something. I like to keep myself strong, and that way I will respect to the others. Self-respect to the one's own self, self-respect to others. And that way I can respect others. And then generally that way respect, but at the same time, all others like rules and guidelines and systems, there's so many different things, but we also respect to all those rules, guidelines, and whatever those is, if we are associating with that, we should respect and follow that our best capabilities. And if we follow that way, then what's called? Also, our Uncle Son will be very happy too. We'll be happy, we become the best nephew and niece of the Uncle Son. So, therefore, respect is really important. Self-respect, respect to the others. And then wisdom, knowledge. Wisdom is seeing clearly things exactly as it is, not understated, overstated. Not just believing, but see things really as clearly, as much as we can see. Those are 7 treasures. Really, I explained 7 treasures, and those are the supreme. Among what the great master Namgyal said in letter to friends. So he mentioned all that wealth, those 7 wealth. Those are the supreme wealth or luxurious items. Luxurious items. And then he said that. And whoever has contentment, that is supreme wealth. Contentment. And even he said, if you have the contentment, even if you don't have anything, still your heart will be rich. Heart is rich. Really heart. That is the rich person. That's very practical. Many times those rich people, wealthy people, looks like so wealthy, but they are always craving for this and that, and then all that we heard so many times. the desire, there's whatever, is not nothing satisfying. And become all, really, so many things. So many things happening. Because when you have the contentment, that is the best wealth. See? And then he said in the teaching, said, even you have the money wealth, big wealth, is cause of the many headaches. Many headaches. In the Naga realm, according to the teaching of the Buddha, Naga, those kings has, those Naga kings has, some has 3 heads. Some has 5 heads. Some has 7 heads. Naga kings. As much as they have the kings, their Naga kings are more powerful, according to the teaching. But even they have that many heads, that many troubles. That many troubles. Even they're so glorious and so looks like so spiritual, but reality there's more troubles. So therefore, again, gracious teacher Buddha said, avoid all the extremes, follow the middle way. That's the really. That is a simple, beautiful, and very luxurious, and heart is quite rich. And that is, so that's it. So those are teaching, and now I'm going to stop here. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating, and thank you, everyone. Thank you.